Well, welcome back to the Gobby Gaffer rebuilds, and today we're going to have a look at Southampton, who've just got relegated into the Championship. So the 23-24 season, they're going to be playing the football in the Championship and not in the Premier League. Now, I did ask for recommendations in the comments, and a big shout out to Leslie Shergold 5002 asking me to have a look at Southampton, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. So let's quickly talk about Southampton's recent history. Promoted into the old First Division in the 65-66 season, where they stayed for 8 seasons. However, they did get relegated into the Second Division, but they did have a famous FA Cup victory over Manchester United at Wembley in 1976. However, they did get promoted back to the First Division in 1978, and at the end of the 1984 season, they finished runners-up in Division 1 to Liverpool, and they were only 3 points behind them. They were a founder member of the Premier League, but did get relegated from the Premier League in 2005. Bouncing back in 2012, where they stayed in the Premier League for 11 seasons, only to get relegated at the end of last season in 2023. And over the years, they've had an absolute glut of famous players. Peter Shilton, Matt Le Tissier, Mick Shannon. And they were a bit of a feeder club for Liverpool at one stage, with Adam Lallana, Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk making the transfer from Southampton to Liverpool. Okay, so there have been a little bit of a yo-yo club, and obviously, you know, that 11-year stint in the Premier League did come to an end. So, well, it's the Gobby Gaffer's job to try and get them back into the Premier League, hopefully at the first attempt. So, let's get stuck in, shall we? So a quick look at the club info. Obviously, Southampton play at St Mary's Stadium down there on the south coast. And it was built in 2001, 32,000 capacity. Stadium condition is very good, which you would expect. Pitch condition is perfect. They've just come out of the Premier League, so it is going to be. I think they've got a new kit for this season, as have most teams anyway. But trophies won: English FA Cup, we've just spoken about that. Sky Bet League 1, Papa John's Trophy, 6 English Southern League Premier Divisions. They were obviously early doors. And in 1922, they won the English 3rd Division South. Finances, I'm not quite sure if the budgets have been issued. I'm using the database again, the updated database, which drops us straight in at the end of the 22-23 season. So I'm going to be simulating this now for the 23-24 season with Southampton in the Championship. So like I said, don't know whether the budgets are being given, but at the moment we only have 248,000 in the bank, and we've got a transfer budget of 1.7 million and a wage budget of 1.7 million. And just looking at that club vision for the season just gone, record a Premier Division top half finish. They fail miserably at that. Be competitive in the FA Cup. And a little bit of a sore point as, again, another little link to my club, Manchester City. Be competitive in the Carabao Cup. Yes, earlier on in the season, I wasn't best pleased when they knocked us out. Bit of a sore point. The staffing screen, as per usual, little bit of a horror show. We only have 4 coaches out of 7. Obviously, this is in Football Manager. Whenever you take a club over in Football Manager, it's always in a dire state. Although the scouting department, we're allowed 8. We have got 10, but with no chief scout. And the medical system doesn't look too bad. We're short of a sports scientist. But the thing that really interests me is the coaching side. And we are short of 3 coaches, and I'm going to be asking for more because we need to get these, and we've seen this so many times before. The Gobby Gaffer likes all of these on the bar chart. I like them to be all top of the shop. Whether we'll get there, I don't know. Whether we've got the money to employ really good coaches, etc., I don't know. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, and I have had a quick look at this. The squad. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Southampton supporter, and the only connection I have with them in the previous season was, like I said, when they knocked Manchester City out of the Carabao Cup. Other than that, I'm not really followed them, and I'm a little bit gobsmacked that they've actually got relegated. Because when you look at the players that they've got here, I mean, okay, Romeo Lavia was a City youth player, and he's rated 3-star with the potential to be 5. He's only 19, but I mean, what a great little player there. I mean, I know there are a few clubs looking at him at the moment. Tino Livramento, 3.5-star with the potential to be 5. James Ward-Prowse, I mean, he's a 4.5-star player. Now, 28-year-old English lad. I mean, we've got some great players here. Gavin Bazunu, goalkeeper, potential of 4.5 stars. Orsic, 4-star. Kyle Walker-Peters. I mean, I could go on and on and on through this squad, and it looks like we've got an absolutely brilliant squad. So I'm not quite sure. I'm sure Southampton supporters, if you want to comment down below, was it bad management? Was it team cohesion? I'm not quite sure what's gone on here. But the one thing I have noticed is if we go over this side here and have a look at James Ward-Prowse is wanted by Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool. Again, if we just keep going on down here, there's quite a few players. Kyle Walker-Peters wanted by Arsenal and Wolves. This lad here, Aduj Kalatakar, he's wanted by Crystal Palace, West Ham, Inter. There's lots of them who are wanted. So whether we can hang on to all of these star players, I don't know. And it's going to be my job to try and convince them to stay in the hope that we can have one season and get straight back into the Premier League again. Whether that's going to be, I mean, when you get the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, United knocking on your door, and these players are playing in the Championship, it's going to be very, very difficult to convince them to stay with us. But that's my job, and I've got to go away and sort out all of these. We have got a few players, if we just do this and sort it by contract expiries, we have got a few players. Theo Walcott, 34 now, only a 2.5 star, so probably we'll be letting him go. Maitland-Niles is on loan. Caballero, another City connection there. He's 41 now, so his contract's running out. So we've got 4 players there whose contracts are running out, but none of them too much of a worry at this stage. The tactic, I think, I've done a little bit of research. I mean, it could be wrong on this. Again, Southampton fans, comment down below. But it looks like they use this kind of a formation. I'm not saying the players are right in those positions, but a couple of sort of defensive-minded players here with an attacking mid, 2 wingers. So 4-2-3-1, I think, is what they've been using. But obviously, it will depend on the players that we keep. It'll depend on the players that we can bring in with that kind of transfer budget. I mean, I suppose really the reality of the situation is that we can't really sign many players. Maybe there's some free transfers knocking about. I don't know. If we can keep this team together, then it's probably going to be the team we're going to start with. Whether I use this formation or not, I don't know. But I very much doubt we will keep the team together. But there is some good value there. If we go back to the squad again and go by transfer value, Romeo Lavia, 48 million. Livramento, 37 million. And, we're in the like 20 odd, 30 odd millions here for most of these top players. So Kyle Walker-Peters, little bit surprised, only 20 million for him. He's a 4-star player. But again, I'm going to have a look at all these. And it may be that I will have to sell 1 or 2 players just to, sacrifice a little bit to bring some new players in and freshen the squad up. So I have been advised to try and keep these rebuilds a little bit shorter. I know they do tend to go on a little bit, but you can appreciate the amount of work that goes into one video rebuilding a team and simulating a whole season. There's a lot of work goes into it, and there's a lot of information to impart. I think, if I would cut these videos down too much, then you would be left wanting for a little bit of, meat on the bones. And I think I'm trying to get the balance right of giving you enough information about the club, giving you enough information about the playing staff when I join, but then also giving the information about transfers, staffing, where the club is at before I start the simulation. And then obviously, the end of the video is hopefully getting a good result at the end there, getting a team promoted, or, whatever the final result is needed. So I have been advised to try and keep them short. So I'm going to try and keep this one as short as possible, but trying to give you plenty of meat on the bones. So I'm going to go away now. I'm going to do some, staff recruitment. I'm going to try and sort out the playing staff and see what, whether we get, I'm sure we will get some offers in for players. Looks like quite a few of the players are wanted. And obviously you've already seen that. So like I say, going to go away now, and we'll come back when I've got some, like I say, some more meat on the bones, bit later on in the season, and it may even be on, transfer deadline day. I'm not quite sure yet, but anything really positively interesting comes up, and we will come straight back. So we'll see you, well, very shortly. Well, that was a very interesting summer. I do love these rebuilds because every one is different. They all have their own little quirky things that are going on. And the quirky thing for Southampton is that we had some very, very good players. I did mention that. And we have managed to keep hold of the majority of them. James Ward-Prowse had a figure on his head of about 35 million. Real Madrid came in for him 4 times and eventually got up to 54 million, I think. And I just kept knocking it back. And to be his credit, he never came and knocked on my door and said, I want to go to Real Madrid. He was quite happy to stay, and I was quite happy to have him as well. Another great thing for me and the club was that there was a 35% wage drop built into most of the players' wages. So immediately, I started clicking buttons, the 35% wage drop clicked in, and we were saving lots of money on wages, which was a very good thing because initially we were set to fail FFP, and that would have been a bit of a disaster. However, we did get a parachute payment. 41 million came in, which was very, very well received. And we did very quickly, we went into the red in the bank. But with that parachute payment, it really jacked us up quite nicely. But as with any relegated team, we did have a few disgruntled players who didn't want to stay with us and wanted to move on. And unfortunately, one or two of the I'm sure the Southampton supporters will be saying, why did you let him go? Well, they didn't want to stay with us. Had to let them go in the end. However, there were 3 players in the under-21 team who are promoted. And that's Larios, Mara and Edozie. So they've all come into the first team now, get some first team experience. And also the right wing back Livramento, I gave him a new contract. Absolutely brilliant player. I have actually played a few games because, again, I wanted to give myself the best chance and give the team the best chance, get to the end of the transfer window, just in case that any offers came in and snatched players away from us, but also to give me the best chance of bringing players in. And it worked quite well because most of the players that I wanted to keep have stayed with us. So let's jump in and have a look at those all-important transfers. So I'm not going to go through them all, but the headlines was Salisu did want to keep hold of him, but he wanted to go. He's gone to Monaco for 13.5 million. I think he's now valued 3 times that value. It's a little bit of a shame, but there you go. Che Adams was another one. He wanted to go. He's gone to Shakhtar for 8 million. And then if we just work our way down here, I'm not quite sure how to say this, Musa Genepo, he went to Salzburg, 5.25 million. And to be honest, I had to let some players go anyway. I had to be selective and I think it worked out quite well, but to bring some money in that gave me some money to spend. So who've we brought in? First off, we brought in Danny Ceballos on a free transfer, and he is now valued at 26 million. And you all know about I love signing players who've got added value. So we've got a player now worth 26 million. He's only 27-year-old. Look at his stats. He's been playing brilliantly. He's already scored 2 goals for us. I think we played 3 games up to now. He scored 2 goals. Absolutely brilliant addition to the midfield. Juventus next for a loan player, Nicola Ravella, 21-year-old Italian lad. Again, he is quite young, so he's got a value of 17 million. He's got some learning to do, but the formation that I'm playing, I did need some really good cover in the midfield there. So again, very, very good mentals. He's quite quick, and passing of 16, tackling of 15. I think he's quite a good player he won't start every game, but he's a very, very good player that can sit in there either as the DM or a little bit further forward. Another loan player went to Villarreal for Boulaye Dia. He's Senegalese, 26-year-old. He can play on the wing or he can play up front. He's very, very quick, very quick. He's got 15 for finishing. We did have a problem early doors. Our superstar Orsic was playing him as striker, but then I moved him out onto the left. He's been scoring goals as well, but he picked up quite a bad injury and he's out for 2 months. So I thought, okay, then let's have a look at that left-hand side striker position. I mean, I brought another striker in anyway, but, we've got really good cover all over the pitch now. And this lad, I think, won't start every game, but very, very, very good cover. If you've watched any of my other saves, Benoit Badiashile from Chelsea on loan. I've had him once or twice before. 22-year-old centre-back. Absolutely brilliant physicals. Mentals are really good as well. 15 for heading. He's a ball-playing defender, marking, passing, tackling. He can do the lot, this lad. Very left-footed, but he's going to be a starter for us at centre-back. And then my director of football knocked on my door and he said, what about this lad? Do you think I should go negotiate for him? Makoko from Borussia Dortmund, 18-year-old. I mean, look at this. Look, dribbling, finishing, first touch, as quick as you like. He's only 18, and, we all know about Makoko at Borussia Dortmund. And I said, just go and do it. You don't need to ask me. Just go and do it. So he's coming on loan, and I don't know whether we've got an option to buy him. 51 million might be out of our reach, but he's coming as a 3-star with the potential to be 5, and he's going to be our starting centre forward. To Manchester City next, 4.6 million for Yangel Herrera. So he's a little bit of an all-rounder. He can do the ball winning. He can play as a Mazzala. He's a 3.5-star player. Valued at 11.5 million now. Again, physicals very good. He's reasonably quick. Mentals are very, very good. Good all-round player again. So although I'm saying we don't have any superstars in midfield. We do have superstars in midfield. But again, this lad on a rotational basis will be very, very good backup. And it's a long old season in the Championship. And lastly to Juventus for 20-year-old Fabio Moretti. 21 million we paid for this lad. A lot of money, I know. He's now valued up to 31 million, but his mentals, for a 20-year-old, mentals very, very good. He's reasonably quick, and he's got very good passing and technique. Vision's okay, but he will get a lot better, and we've got this lad now. Unless somebody comes in tries to snatch him from under our noses. 3-star with the potential to be 5. Bit of a superstar. He wants to be a star player. He wants to start every game, and he's a perfectionist. I mean, what more can you say? So that's all of the transfers done. The transfer window is just this second slammed shut. So that's everything done now until the January transfer window. So let's just have a little bit of a dig around now, just show you where we're up to with everything else. So the squad planner, I think, is looking very, very good. I was in 2 minds whether to bring a new goalkeeper in, but Bazunu has got 5-star potential, and I think we need to give him some game time. And not that I had money for a goalkeeper, but that's what we're going to do. McCarthy and Bazunu probably going to share goalkeeping duties. As you can see across the back, absolutely brilliant. Badiashile, Kaletakar, Bednarek in in the central defensive positions. On the wing backs, we've got really good cover. Defensive midfield, obviously Romeo Lavia stayed with us, but we've also picked up another couple of players who could play well in there. Ward-Prowse stayed with us, absolutely brilliant. And then we've got Sabalos and Moretti in there. Out wide, we've got Dia. We've got Orsic when he comes back, can play out there. This side is probably maybe a little bit of a weak link in the team. The right side, I did try to sign 1 or 2 players for there, but they all kind of failed at the last hurdle. And then up front, Orsic can play amazingly up there. Makoku can play. We've got the young lad Mara, and we have got other options up front as well. Dynamics looking really good as well. Cohesion average. Club atmosphere excellent, and managerial support is average. I've got a strong influence over a number of players apparently. The tactic that I decided to go with, at one point I was going to do away with the wingers, but then I realised that we've got Orsic out there and we've got the new lad Dia. Right wing, not so great, but I decided to go with this in the end. We've got really good defensive midfielders, loads of cover, great creativity in the middle, and with Orsic and Dia out on the left-hand side, with Mokoku up front. Again, it was a bit of a no-brainer, really. So I went for this 4-3-3 with a custom fluid counter-attacking. Staff screen is looking so much better now. The only thing we're a little bit low on is the goalkeeping department. I've asked the board twice now for more coaching staff, and they won't give them to me. In their opinion, we're absolutely fine for coaching. I would beg to disagree. And even in the medical team, we probably could do with a little bit more in there. But certainly the coaching staff needs updating. Not a lot I can do about that, but it is looking a lot better than when I joined. A quick look at the schedule and how it's been going. So we had a lot of friendlies in there, and it was a nice little warm-up for us. And first game of the season, we played Hull away. Nice 3-1 win. But then Football Manager, as per usual, I've said this many times before, they always like to put you in there in a league game, in a cup game, against the same team. And more often than not, as well I've noticed, is you'll win one and you'll lose one, and that's exactly what happened. So we played Hull in the Caribou Cup first round, and we lost on penalties. So we're actually out of the Caribou Cup. But given the fixture congestion in the Championship, I'm not too bothered about that. The main aim is get promoted. And with that in mind, we then played Coventry, 4-0 win, and we played Rotherham, 2-0 win. So as you can see here, we're not conceding a lot of goals, which is absolutely brilliant. The next game up is an away game against Sunderland. I mean, it's going to be a very, very busy season this. So, we needed to get off to a good start. And the club vision is gain automatic promotion to the Premier Division. Well, I wouldn't expect anything less, really. Be competitive in the FA Cup, and be competitive in the Caribou Cup. We got knocked out in the first round, and I've passed it. I don't know. Answers on a postcard. And the finance is not looking too bad. We have a 37 million bank balance. Transfer budget is nearly all gone. But the wage budget of 1.8 million, and we're actually currently spending nearly 1.2 million. So we're a long way under the wage budget. So there is room for manoeuvre in there. Projection, however, is not looking great. So at the end of this season, a deficit of 43 million, 107 million the season after that, and 138 million the season after that. But I'm guessing if we get promoted to the Premier League, then all of these figures will be revised. Well, hopefully they will. And finally, we have only played 3 games up to now, but we are sat top of the shop. We've won all 3 games with 9 points. Watford have also won all of their 3 games, so they're on 9 points as well. And with that, I think we're ready to press that button and holiday forward. I don't think I'm going to holiday forward to the January transfer window because I'd rather not spend any more money if I can help it now. I need to be looking at the club's finances as well. I think by the end of the season, a lot of that bank balance will have gone. So I don't really want to be spending a lot more money. So I think we're going to press the button, fast forward to the end of the season, and well, let's hope Southampton get promoted. I would like to go up as champions, but any promotion is greatly received, as obviously the Premier League is the promised land. That's where everybody wants to be, and that's where the finances of this club will get sorted out. Anyway, we'll see you very shortly. We're going to press that button and see how we did. Well, what a very interesting season it has been. I've actually come back a little bit early because I just wanted to see where we were situated. And we're in the playoffs, which is kind of not what I wanted. I wanted to get promoted automatically. We are in the playoffs and we've actually beaten Norwich 4-1 in the first leg. But, weirdly, we're in the FA Cup final and we're playing Leicester. So it's an all-championship FA Cup final. And I thought, well, I mean, shall we watch that? Go on, let's watch it. We're in the FA Cup final. Let's see if we can get a bit of shiny silverware. So I'm not going to commentate on this game. We'll just watch it just out of interest. It'd be very nice if we could pick up some shiny silverware. Koku there with a nice goal to open the scoring. We've won the FA Cup. How's that? That's all right, isn't it? Nice trophy lift. The end of my first season there. I know we're not supposed to be doing this. We're meant to be clicking till the end of the season, but I thought, you know what? Let's just come back a little bit early, and I'm glad I did, because we have a nice shiny trophy lift. Southampton have won the FA Cup. Oh my word! Okay, well, that was a little bit unexpected, but I thought it was a nice point to come back in and have a look what was going on, and I'm glad I did. We now have playoff games to play. We've beaten Norwich 4-1 in the first leg, so can we get through to the playoff final? It'll be at Wembley again, and of course, Southampton are quite used to winning there. Let's see what happens, shall we? And after playing Leicester in the FA Cup final at Wembley, we played Leicester again. It's another one of those football manager things. We played Leicester again in the playoff final at Wembley. And shall we have a look what happened? Southampton celebrate final day promotion. So we kind of went up by the skin of our teeth. Not quite how I would have liked it. I would have liked to have gone up, I mean, not necessarily as champions, but certainly, second in an automatic promotion spot. But anyway, we are promoted. And the board have now set some initial budgets. So if we carry on with this simulation, we have a wage budget of 1.8 million and a transfer budget of 44 million. Not quite sure what the finances are looking like. Little bit of a horror show with 33 million in the red in the bank. But the projection now we're in the Premier League is nowhere near as bad. So at the end of this coming season now is a balance of minus 6.87 million, then 13.9, and at the end of season 25-26, a deficit of 10.27 million. So now we're back in the Premier League. That is looking a lot healthier. So let's have a quick look at some of the standout performers. So Moukoko, the striker we have on loan from Dortmund, he made 52 appearances over the season and scored 35 goals. He scored 26 in the league, 5 assists, 5 player of the matches, 6.99. Ward-Prowse, 46 appearances, 12 goals, 19 assists, 3 player of the matches, 7.32. He actually scored 15 overall on 57 appearances. Dani Ceballos, my new midfield player, 45 appearances, 14 goals, 8 assists, 4 player matches, 7.21. So a really good return from him. The left winger who we've got on loan, 39 appearances, 15 goals, 9 assists, 5 player a match, 7.18. So some standout performances there for the season. So let's have a look at the schedule and see how the results went. So when we left it, we had the Sunderland game to play and we drew that 2-2. We had a 1-1 against Preston, and then we went on a nice little run here. We beat Bristol City 8-2 in that run, not conceding many goals at all. But then it went a little bit pear-shaped. Leeds, Watford and Swansea, 3 losses, and we did start losing goals. Whether we had some injuries in defence, I don't know. But a little bit pear-shaped there. Then we did pick it up again, and we beat Leicester 2-1. So we've beaten Leicester this season more than once. And then it kind of went a little bit indifferent. We get into January, couple of draws, couple of losses. Again, a little bit up and down. But then towards the end of the season, we did pick it up. And we had a draw against Birmingham. But from here, I mean, if we just look at the FA Cup games, so the FA Cup quarter-final, we beat Liverpool in extra time 4-3. And then we beat Manchester United in the semi-final 5-3. I mean, some of these results are a bit off the scale in the FA Cup. And of course, obviously, we went on to win the damn thing. And then, of course, as we coming to the close of the season, we had a 1-0 loss against Cardiff. But other than that, we kind of sailed through the playoff games, and then we beat Leicester in the playoff final in extra time 3-2. So quite a successful simulation there. The objective was to get Southampton back into the Premier League, which I've done. Albeit I would have liked to have gone up automatically and not had to bother with the playoff games. But the bonus to that is we won the FA Cup, and I'm not quite sure how we did that. We beat Liverpool in the quarterfinals, United in the semi-finals, and then we beat Leicester in the final. A little bit off the scale. Anyway, I really enjoy doing these simulations. If you've got any more suggestions for me of clubs that you would like to see a simulation run on, whether they've been relegated or whether it's your favourite club and you want to see what I can do with them, let me know in the comments because I really enjoy doing these, and any suggestions would be gratefully received. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and this has been a very interesting, quirky, and quite productive in the end simulation. And like I say, I really enjoy doing them. So hopefully there'll be more of this. Maybe another one with Southampton in the Premier League. Again, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do that. So I'm going to wrap it up now, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to watch the Borussia Mönchengladbach save and my other rebuilds as well. All interesting stuff, and we'll see you next time.